r/askreddit. What's an incorrect thing you were taught in sex ed? We had a class where an outside speaker came in and gave a 15-minute lecture on why condoms didn't work. She fucking tossed her baseball through a hula hoop and said that's how easy it is for sperm to go through latex. Clearly the goal here was abstinence, but what a fucking dumb was to sell it. We had another one of those, but she was more focused on porn. She claimed that if you watched porn, when you finally got around to have sex you'd be suddenly assaulted by memories of things you saw in porn to the point that you'd be overwhelmed by a feeling of disgust and repulsiveness that would make you unable to actually have sex. Ironically, that was the one random memory that assaulted me while I was getting it on for the first time. Did she miss? Expected takeaway: if condoms are that ineffective, I better not have sex at all then, just to be safe. Actual takeaway: well, if condoms basically do nothing, I won't bother using them. And that's why areas with abstinence-only sex ed have higher rates of teen pregnancy. We had something similar at one of my schools. A guy and his wife came in and had this giant lecture about how you need to marry the first person you date or else you'll be left emotionally traumatized because of breakups and never be able to have a stable relationship or get married. 6th grade math teacher doubled the sex ed teacher for a few weeks. Told us that if we shave our pubes that they would never grow back, or if we were to trim they'd stay that length forever. Sometimes I wish it were true. Can you imagine how useful this would be? Pick a length, cut it down and keep it that way. Made a mistake? Ah well, shave it all off, you now have a free Brazilian for life. That is a weird thing to teach. Of all the topics to broach. Nothing about ovulation. Thought girls can get pregnant anytime. As a woman, I was also taught this. And as an adult that eventually ended up having to really track things in order to get pregnant, and also avoid pregnancy for years on end, I am so disillusioned by female health education. I tried explaining this to my friends and they all looked at me like I was crazy. Some people need to learn more about their bodies. Just because the school doesn't teach it, doesn't mean it's not worth learning. If you swallow semen, you'll get pregnant. While that declaration is incorrect, at least one woman has given birth while not having a vagina. She swallowed semen and was soon after stabbed in the stomach by her jilted ex. Penis goes into shampoo bottle, not into girl. Did your teacher go on our teenagers? I was taught in high school that bi people always date 2 people at once and therefore have twice the amount of STDs. Thanks, Ohio. As a bisexual, I can confirm that this is bullshit. No, me being bisexual does not mean I am poly. Nor does it mean I love you any less because you don't fulfill all my desires. Nor does it mean I will be more likely to cheat, etc. Condoms do absolutely nothing to stop HIV. He literally drew a big circle on the whiteboard, took a ping pong ball and bounced it in the circle over and over and said that the ball was HIV going through pores in latex. So we learned we were going to get AIDS even if we used condoms. Reminds me of my time in Catholic school. We had religion class, which was taught by a priest. He had no authority to teach sex ed in that class but did so anyways. Draws a spiral on the chalkboard, turns to the class. This is your anus. Then grabs a ruler and stabs at the chalkboard. As you see, the ruler cannot enter it. Therefore this disproved gay sex or something somehow, in some way? Isn't the ball bouncing off it actually a better representation of the condom defending against it? Double bagging it was twice as secure. How dumb. Each will tear the other up. That's why I quadruple wrap it. I'm still angry about this. My sex ed teacher, female, was asked by a girl, what happens if a guy pees inside of a woman? She responded that a man can't pee with an erection. I am a guy. I knew from hundreds of frustrating mornings that this absolutely was not true and yet I said nothing. To this day I'm half tempted to pee inside my so just to spite her and also because I still don't know what would happen lol. I suspect she'd just leak pee and feel gross. Edit. Geez guys, I'm not gonna actually pee inside anyone. It was a joke. TBH, I'd be mad if a guy peed in me. That you can contact HIV AIDS through hugging someone. Well, who would say that so bluntly? This only applies to premarital hugging. Well, you can get AIDS from a toilet seat, but only if you sit down before the other guy gets up. When you'll get older you will have sex. Silly teacher. Reality is often disappointing. That uncircumcised means dirty. Improper hygiene equals dirty, having more skin doesn't. This makes me sad. I hate it when I see things like that being said. I tend to lean towards if evolution believes that it should be there, then it likely should. Eater. I knew it would be contentious saying it honestly. There are really a lot of things you can debate on it, but it really just comes down to I was born with it and I can remove it, alter it as a consenting adult, guardian, mature minor person if health issues indicate that it becomes an issue. Is that better? I like how this person must think that more or less the rest of the globe is dirty. It's kind of fucked up how America is one of the few countries still practicing male genital mutilation on such a wide scale. That if you missed a period you were definitely pregnant. I remember being about 13 and I missed my period and started freaking out. I had never had sex, so how could I be pregnant? Am I the next Virgin Mary? No. It's normal for a woman to miss a period every once in a while, it seems. I just wish my school would have said things like, sometimes you miss your period for various reasons, but also be cautious of it if you're sexually active. But no. No period? Pregnant. So anorexic stressed WE people are just perma-pregnant. I see. Some fun facts from sex ed in Nebraska, circa 2008. All gay men get torn anuses and require surgery to repair them. Condoms do nothing to prevent STDs. Women don't enjoy sex. Anyone who has had premarital sex, or who has been sexually assaulted, is unclean and undesirable. This was a fun one for a rape victim. Women don't enjoy sex. That one was probably true, for the teacher's wife that is. Technically correct but funny inappropriate how it was taught. Teacher, now girls, it is important that you wear protection. If you don't, you can catch a STD and die. All the while with a smile on her face. Condoms fail 90% of the time. Everyone who has an abortion regrets it. People who masturbate have low self-esteem. Public school. Fun times. Well, that's true about masturbation. Haha, am I right? Guys? We were told that it's normal for it to hurt girls to have sex for the first time. The truth is that the hymen is perfectly capable of stretching with foreplay and patience. It's not made to be ripped like the finish line at a marathon. In 6th grade it seems we were taught that if anyone's blood touched you, you would get AIDS. It wasn't intentional and a total miscommunication, but that day that Braden got a paper cut and everyone kept at least a meter's distance, the teachers realized they needed to clear that up. Males think about sex every 7 seconds. At the time I was like, what the fuck? Wait, not every 7 seconds a male thinks about sex, but males think about sex every 7 seconds? Even if it was just a sex involved word like penis or foreplay, that would be very interruptive of the brain. Okay, 2 divided by 3 is dick. Oh shit. Anyways, 2 divided by 3, multiplied by orgasm. Fuck, I can't do this. 7 seconds, wow. That's a lot of seconds between each time. Condoms have a 98% failure rate and also do not help prevent the spread of STDs. Best part was it was a fucking priest giving the lecture and he called several people who questioned him on this silly for believing the lies of the sex industry. Reading these makes me worry about American education so much. I'm dating an American, planning on raising our kids there. I was raised in the UK. Even attending a Catholic high school with priests living on the school site and teaching classes, I got a pretty good education on sex and such without it even being taught. Over here it's part of the national science curriculum. You cover contraception, drawbacks, benefits, what 5 or 6 of them do, when you're learning about pregnancy and the reproductive organs. Seems so weird that over there things like this are taught. I was taught that vaginas were just a large hole at the bottom of a woman's torso. It was just a penis-shaped hole like when you stick your finger in Play-Doh. This is my hole. It was made for me. How to put a condom on a banana. I do it but my girlfriend still gets pregnant. Please help. Easy, reverse the condoms. Have sex again and she gonna unpregnant. That men couldn't be raped. The reasoning was that they couldn't get an erection if they were scared. Also our teacher made it sound like teenage sex was super taboo still. He told us this story about when he was teaching a past class about birth control, specifically the implant kind. A girl commented, "Oh, I have that, it's here in my arm." He sounded so astounded that someone would not only be having sex, but also be so open about it. That masturbating was the same as losing your virginity, and also, albeit a different teacher and a few years prior, you couldn't get pregnant until you were married. Needless to say, this confused 9-year-old me greatly, since as far as I'd been told, my parents were never married. Yet there I was. This is one I haven't seen anywhere else. That when you have sex for the first time, your brain releases a special chemical that bonds two people. That's why there are couples whose bonds are so strong. If you waste it on some rando guy on the streets, you're shit out of luck. Paraphrasing, but you get the idea. As I read through these, only one thought comes to mind. The education system is a complete failure. That the foreskin serves no function. I know it carries a snack for later. 1. Orgasms are for men only. Essentially, there is no scientific reason for a woman to orgasm. Therefore, there is no impact on a woman not having an orgasm during intercourse. 2. Women don't have sex dreams and cannot orgasm in their sleep the way men have wet dreams. 3. Breasts are the most erogenous zone on a woman. 4. Contraception is the woman's sole responsibility. She should always have condoms with her and be on the pill, etc. We had a sex ed teacher, female too, who danced around the simple question of do women orgasm too during sex to the point where she didn't give an answer. One of the students swooped in and answered over her once it became clear she wasn't going to actually give a definitive answer. Thankfully, he answered correctly. That 2 men can't have sex together. My so and I both disagree. Everything because Reddit taught me true sex ed. Thank you, random adults in your 20s, very cool. That abstinence prevents unwanted pregnancies. Yet states with highest abstinence-based sexual education also have some of the highest pregnancy rates. So yeah. My 8th grade Catholic school sex ed taught that masturbation was bad. This was taught by a nun. Reminds me of my friend whose sex ed was taught by an unusually sensible nun. One girl asked her, "Do you masturbate?" and Sister Mug answered, "I'm only human." There was nothing about the clitoris in any of the anatomical diagrams, just a reference to it in the bit about what masturbation means. The first time I saw an actual model of the entire clitoris structure, I was like, well damn. That makes so much more sense than assuming it's just a little button. Also, they said that girls masturbate by touching themselves with something soft, like a pillow. Took me a while to figure out why that wasn't doing much of anything. That I would have it.